We get set, but first, here's Al Stafford.
Tonight, Oilers forward Ryan Nugent Hopkins would become the 417th player in NHL history to play 1,000 career NHL games. Ryan was selected first overall by the Oilers in the 2011 NHL entry draft and would become the first player from that draft class to accomplish this feat. He made his NHL debut October 9th, 2011, and during his career he scored 282 goals and registering 787 points. Oil Country, the first player in franchise history to play 1,000 NHL games exclusively as an Edmonton Oiler. Number 93, Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Ryan is being joined on the ice tonight by his dad, Roger, mom, Deb, brother Adam, his wife, Brianne, and their daughter, Lennon. Tonight, we celebrate this career milestone and ask you to join us as we reflect on this amazing accomplishment.
The Edmonton Oilers are so proud to select from the Red Deer Rebels, Ryan Nugent Hopkins.
That's incredible. What a backtrack by Nugent Hopkins.
Nugent Hopkins could win it. He does!
So valuable, right, in every facet of the game.
Well, like you said, he does everything. He does everything for our group.
Our kind of Swiss Army knife. He's playing really, really well.
Have you guys ever seen him make a mistake?
What a play by Nugent Hopkins. Shoots and scores! Here's the left from Nugent Hopkins. Wow!
This guy is the ultimate Oiler. He does it all. The most humble guy you could imagine.
I'm Ryan Nugent Hopkins. I grew up in Burnaby, British Columbia. Well, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around sometimes of how unbelievable this fan base is.
Paul with it now. Between the legs pass looking for Hemke. Hopkins with a chance. And a chance. He scores! Ryan Nugent Hopkins, his first National Hockey League goal.
Hey Nuge, just want to congratulate you on 1,000 games. Had an amazing career. Keep it going. You're like Benjamin Button. I don't think you've aged a day since you came into the league. It's pretty amazing.
Hey Nuggles, it's Leo here. Congratulations on 1,000 NHL games. You've always been the heart and soul of this team, of this city, and I'm sure the fans in this city feel the same way about you. Hey Nuge, congrats on 1,000 games. Thank you for obviously the leadership that you've shown, not only for myself, but the organization as a whole. Watching you on the ice and seeing all the amazing things you do on the ice is special, but off the ice, seeing you as a father, an amazing husband. Thanks for everything you do, man, and congrats on 1,000.
Nuge, congrats. 1,000 games. So proud of you and your family. You're an amazing player, teammate, friend. There is no doubt in my mind you get to this moment and still going strong.
Congrats, Nuge. So happy for you, man. 1,000 games here in Edmonton. So special to be your teammate, man. Somebody that welcomed me right away. You've been such a great friend and a pleasure to be a part of the ride with you. And so happy for you and your family. Amazing, amazing accomplishment.
Hey Nuge, I want to congratulate you for playing your NHL game number 1,000 tonight. And for you to do it in the Edmonton Oilers, it's even better. I've always considered you as an amazing hockey player, but an even better teammate. I'm very happy and proud to see you as a friend of mine, and I really miss being on the ice with you.
Hey Nuge, congrats on your 1,000th game. It's a true testament of your hard work and dedication.
Miss all the night chats in the hotel room, miss the laughs in the car, block rope in the airport, miss the Mario Party games on the plane, miss the movie quotes, miss all of it. It was a tremendous honor lacing them up with you, and even a bigger honor to consider you a friend for life. So
very lucky to have you, Bria, in the Oilers family. So
I hope you and your beautiful family have a lovely night tonight.
Keep it going, pal. Congrats again and enjoy the night.
Most underrated player in the league. Congrats, buddy.
Ryan's teammates have presented him with a custom-engraved Rolex watch. Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation has made a donation in Ryan's name to the No Bounds Initiative and Starry Children's Hospital Foundation, along with the Every Kid Deserves a Shot program presented by Rogers. The Oilers organization has also gifted Ryan with a custom print to celebrate this career accomplishment. The general manager of the Edmonton Oilers, Stan Bowman, to present Ryan with a traditional Tiffany crystal on behalf of the National Hockey League. A silver stick represents 1,000 games in the National Hockey League. Making the presentation of the silver stick, we welcome CEO and President of Hockey Operations for the Edmonton Oilers, Jeff Jackson. In recognition of her father's 1,000th NHL game, Zach Hyman will present Nugent Hopkins with a custom mini silver stick. An additional mini silver stick has also been prepared for baby Nuge, who is set to arrive in the upcoming weeks. We also now invite the remainder of Ryan's teammates to join him for a team photo to commemorate his 1,000th game in the National Hockey League. The Edmonton Oilers organization and fans across oil country, congratulations, Nuge, on this amazing accomplishment. And now, fans viewing at home on Sportsnet and here in Rogers Place, we ask you to please stand if you're able, remove your hats, and join the singing voice of your Edmonton Oilers, Robert Clark, in the performance of the American and Canadian national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. from far and wide. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Another magnificent anthem from Robert Clark after a beautiful afternoon in Edmonton has given way to nightfall, and the Oilers on the second of a back-to-back and celebrating maybe not the best Oiler, but arguably the most beloved Ryan Nugent Hopkins. That man, Connor Ingram, well, he didn't even make the trip to Vancouver last night as the Oilers won 6-0 on the front end of this back-to-back. He stayed home in Edmonton, and he's been great the last 4 starts for the Oilers with a .933 save percentage. That guy's going to the Olympics, but Jordan Binnington has got to figure it out. Just 2 wins since December the 1st. He's played to a save percentage actually lower than that of the season. However, he beat the Oilers in early November, and there's Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Louis, I think you'd agree with me. I don't know, since the early days of your career when Ryan Smith started to be a folk hero, I think Nugent Hopkins has achieved that level of popularity or very close to it.
I would agree with you. He really is. He's such a tremendous human being first and foremost, but he's bled these colors for a long time, his 15th year in the National Hockey League, and he does so much in the community as well as on the ice, and loved by his teammates and the fans here in Edmonton.
Nick Bjugstad, a former Oiler, digging in and winning the opening faceoff against Nugent Hopkins, who starts on a line with Trent Frederick and Kasperi Kapanen, who scored twice last night in the shellacking of the Canucks. And one of those goals set up by a brilliant feed from Nugent Hopkins. Nurse and Emberson, the deep pairing, and we mentioned Ingram in net. Your starting lineup brought to you by our friends at bet99.net. Emberson tied up, a centering pass comes in front, and a shot deflected from Fowler, juggled and spilled by Ingram, but chipped out by Frederick. And now you've got Nugent Hopkins trying to slash his way to the middle. Unsuccessful in that endeavor. St. Louis coming off back-to-back victories, and like Edmonton, the only 2 teams in the league don't have a 3-game winning streak collide tonight. Hyman actually poked one on net there that Binnington had to make a tricky left pad save on, and then Neighbors overran the play, allowing Podkolzin to bring it in. McDavid busted through a stick check, a quick shot and a save made by Binnington. The rebound scooped and cleared by Braden Shen, but he turned it over at the red line. The counterattack, Podkolzin driving to the net with a hard shot short side, fought off and sent hurtling out of play by Jordan Binnington.
Well, these 2 teams wasted little time after a ceremony for Ryan Nugent Hopkins' 1,000th game. This is a chance right off the hop, and it's from Fowler. The wrister through a screen and a couple good saves by Ingram. In tight, bam, and away. This is a good chance for Connor McDavid. Gets that one away in a hurry. Binnington was there. That one little chop you talked about by Hyman against the grain, and the left pad is what made the save by Binnington. And then Podkolzin with a pretty sharp angle shot. I think early on here, Jack, you're going to see both teams trying to test each goaltender respectively. And I don't mind that at all.
I mentioned the back-to-back wins for the Blues. Edmonton obviously won last night in Vancouver, but those were home games for St. Louis. They have the 2nd worst record in the league on the road. They've dropped 5 in a row by a combined 25-9 coming into tonight. A shot from distance, pinballed wide. That was taken by Justin Falk and gathered by Oscar Sundqvist. Back to Falk, another shot, and that one friendly fire hit his teammate Nathan Walker. That's carried up the center and pounded in deep by Isaac Howard. That line finally able to break through last night in Vancouver. A gorgeous feed. Howard to Roslovic for a tip in the other way. Quick counter strike, and Falk another hard shot up high, and Connor Ingram able to make the save. Ingram last 4 starts again. Tremendous. This is too many men on the ice against Edmonton. Nurse got caught. A little bit of a miscommunication right in front of you, Louie. And St. Louis will get a power play here.
Fast-paced
against Edmonton. Nurse got caught. A little bit of a miscommunication right in front of you, Louie. And St. Louis will get a power play here.
Fast-paced to start things off here as both teams moving their legs, and Justin Falk, the defenseman, up on the rush on this one. Again, electing to try and test Ingram high. And that little confusion at the bench here. Everybody's trying to get off. It's that little turnover right there in the neutral zone that leads to a quick transitional play by the Blues. And the Oilers get caught with an extra man on the ice.
Looked like Wallman was rolling toward the bench and then button hooked the other way. Frederick will serve it.
Transitional play will do that to you.
Yes, exactly.
You know, you're not going to give a 2-on-0 up.
St. Louis 24th in the league on the power play, 2 for their last 23. But the Oilers come up with a face-off and cleared by Janmark down the ice. Dalibor Dvorsky is the only St. Louis Blue with more than 3 power play goals this year. 4 of his 7 on the season have come on the man advantage. And he's on the second unit, keep in mind. Braden Shen digging in against Bouchard. The Oilers can't get a clear, and a backhander sifted wide by Jimmy Snuggerud. On the puck is Matthias Janmark, and he has room to kind of skate away from the Blues before dishing off to Ekholm for the predictable 200-foot clear. St. Louis 5 points out of the last wild card spot in the Western Conference. They're 2 games under 500 at 19-21-8. Last year, they stormed from way back to sneak into the playoffs and probably should have beaten Winnipeg in the first round. Had the Jets dead to rights. Heartbreaking loss in Game 7. McDavid shorthanded, dashing up the right-hand side. Fighting off Buchnevich, making sure to get it in deep, and then Hill curled to the bench. Again, no Leon Draisaitl. Back in Germany, attending to a family matter. Here's Dylan Holloway, his first game since December the 12th. Of course, broke in with the Oilers, had an excellent playoffs in 2024. Sundqvist with a giveaway, and Nurse will lob it the other way. And St. Louis without a shot on this power play thus far. And Louis, they need Holloway back. As you know, the Blues have been struggling for goals all year long.
Yeah, dead last in the National Hockey League for goals for. And yes, they could certainly use him back. Robert Thomas, obviously one of their most offensive, if not the most offensive player out of the lineup as well. But they're trying to get back to that.
Parayko doesn't have a goal all season. That shot was redirected wide. And that St. Louis power play just went by the boards without much action at all. Certainly not a shot on net. And Evan Bouchard up the right-hand side for Kapanen. He was banged into hard by Toropchenko. And the Blues will come the other way. Bukestad to Toropchenko, almost ran into Walker. Who get it behind
YouTube now. Wago Howard Hanaho. Quiz in music. What does a repeat refer to?
Plays that players will tell you they dread because St. Louis just didn't look ready, quite frankly.
And the penalty kill for Edmonton is much improved. It's trending in the right direction. And that's the most important thing. Only 3 power play goals against their last 12 for Edmonton. So they've really buckled down in that regard as well. And yeah, I agree with you. Early on, sometimes it's hard to put it together on the power play.
Save on Stenberg for Ingram.
This period brought to you by James H. Brown Accident Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters in injury law.
Chris Knobloch happy with his team's performance last night in Vancouver. Likes to see the trickle-down effect and different guys getting involved. He did say, as you have said, that third line, he said, you know, they're doing the right things. They're making the right plays. The puck's not necessarily going in the net, but Roslovic with a couple of goals, Howard and Savoy with an assist. It's nice to see that production down the lineup.
Puck off a stick, sailing out of play. The Oilers getting 2 goals in the second period last night from Roslovic and Kapanen. And here's a look at Roslovic's.
Yeah, they were buzzing, and you could kind of feel this coming for this line, especially. This is the goal here that Lazar's the one that drives to the net. They would ultimately challenge that and were unsuccessful. Vancouver. It led to the power play, but it's driving to the net. It's the speed off the attack and the rush. And for Roslovic, has those quick feet, but the finishing touch at the end. Pots a couple on a beauty pass by Isaac Howard, who is starting to trend up as well and play with a little more confidence, a little more pace, and it shows.
Roslovic and Kapanen, first pair of Oilers to get 2 goals in the same period in a regular season game since 1996. Louis DeBrusk was on that team. Must have been the trigger man that night. Here's Bouchard. Charging up the right-hand side. Little slash in on the hands. And after the Blues waste an early power play opportunity, now it's the Oilers' turn.
And for Podkolzin, he knows he has both flanks drive into the net here, so he wants to hesitate for just a second. Once he gets the middle, where is he going to go with this? But it's that chop right there. He brings it from backhand to forehand. And right as he does, you're going to see the stick come down. Now, because it comes down, I believe, from over the head by Shen, it wasn't on the hands, it was lower on the stick, but it was a fairly vigorous slash down on the stick, draws the call.
Power play brought to you by Play Alberta. Louis mentioned the penalty kill surging. Well, the power play has been there all year, seemingly. 33%, number 1 in the league. Blues penalty kill, 76%. Again, bottom 5. In many ways, St. Louis is fortunate to be only 5 points out of a playoff spot. When you look at their numbers, they're basically bottom 5 in the league in everything, including in the standings. McDavid gets it back from Nugent Hopkins. But in this year, in the compressed races in both conferences, you've got a shot if you can string 3 or 4 wins together. And that's been the problem for St. Louis. Here's Bouchard. Hitting the line. Wallman. Bouchard. Shot, score! Nugent Hopkins in game 1000 opens the scoring. Power play goal.
Well, sometimes the hockey gods are looking down on you. 1,000 games for Ryan Nugent Hopkins. This is the beauty of his shot. He loves to test up over top of the blocker. It's Bouchard that finds him in the slot all in one motion. Corrals it, toe drag, upstairs at the blocker's side, 1-0 Edmonton, and everybody comes in. This bench erupted beside me here when Ryan Nugent Hopkins blasted that one home. Congratulations. He scored in game number 1 in his career and game 1,000.
Nugent Hopkins, a dozen on the year. Bouchard and McDavid with the helpers on the power play goal that puts Edmonton up 1-0. And the Oilers again with that gaudy record when they get the first goal this year. A record of 20 victories and just 1 defeat in regulation. Bouchard up the middle. That's going to be an icing call whistled against Edmonton.
Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
Well, here we go. It's that little play on the wall by Wallman that gets the puck deep into the zone. An aggressive penalty kill by the St. Louis Blues. But you make those little plays, and then Bouchard finds Nugent Hopkins. He makes no mistake.
Neighbors to Philip Broberg dancing behind the net. Short side shot by Shen, and now we've got a penalty coming against Edmonton for an interference. Yes, give Wallman the second assist rather than McDavid on the power play goal. Now Bouchard to the box. But Ryan Nugent Hopkins exultant in game 1000.
Today, skip back off, skip forward. Such an unbelievable. You have to experience it.
The world collectively mourn the loss of a true killer in NHL history. Nicknamed Mr. Goalie, Glenn Hall passed away at the age of 94 in his longtime home of Stony Plain. Glenn will forever be known for his untouchable record of 502 consecutive starts as a goaltender. Now ask you to join us, Oiler Country, as we remember the legacy of Glenn Hall.
So this was Glenn when he played for the Edmonton Flyers. The organization just paying tribute to a goaltender. Raise a glass for Glenn, who also was raised as a champion in the National Hockey League. Always near ice with his family, a little pond in the area. What a ride it was for Glenn Hall, who passed away recently at the age of 94.
Well, there's a record that in professional sports you'll never see approached. 552 games in a row. I mean, that will never, ever, ever be broken. Here's also conviction.
Absolutely.
A shot off the pads. I mean, that one I feel as safe as I ever will about anything in my life. Justin Falk to the middle. Bushnievich shot wide on the blocker's side. Second power play for the Blues. Here's Savoy with a chance to clear. That was whacked out of midair, and in the estimation of the linesman, play with a high stick by Falk.
Davin Bouchard in the penalty box here. Second power play early in this game for the St. Louis Blues. And it's that shot right there on Broberg after he kind of turned and played the puck. They're saying it was a little late. And puts down in that shot. I believe interference was the call.
Broberg off the draw for the St. Louis Blues, trying to tie this game up. Taken down was Jordan Kyrou, who had the shootout winner on Friday as St. Louis ended Tampa Bay's 11-game winning streak. A steal by McDavid in the slot. Short-handed with Broberg back defensively. McDavid a shot to save Binnington. Rebound grabbed by Snuggerud and laid ahead for Jordan Kyrou. He's had a tough year at even strength. Shut off the rush by Shen, and that's laid to rest by Connor Ingram. Still 49 seconds left in the man advantage for St. Louis.
Changes everything when 97's on the ice, penalty killing, because he can do this. He can attack so aggressively. I like this shot, though, by Connor McDavid. He uses Broberg as a screen, tries to catch Binnington, maybe sleeping a little bit. Good save, and then Ingram swallows this one up from down the left-hand side. Gets the face-off.
Janmark busted down the left-hand side. Cam Fowler rolls over. Blues still with time here. Half minute on the power play, trailing 1-0. Nugent Hopkins, a power play goal for Edmonton. Kyrou lost the handle. And a clear by Janmark, and Savoy sends one deep into the St. Louis zone.
That was a good physical play by Jake Neighbors. Otherwise, Janmark was gone. Would have been a 3-on-2.
But still, the Oilers' strength, special teams, is paying off here in the early going of this game. Whereas for the Blues, it's been a weakness.
Haven't been able to find that high-quality chance with the man advantage.
Bukestad sends it across for Parayko. He'll step up. Wallman on him. Spencer Stastny playing game number 100 tonight in the NHL, and it's a breakaway for Kapanen against his former team. Denied by Binnington. Kapanen played 106 games for the St. Louis Blues, and that would have been a sweet one for him, but Binnington keeps St. Louis within one, back at full strength.
Great backtrack there, and back check by Parayko. Put it into high gear for a big man. He can fly. I think he heard some footsteps.
Kapanen driving in again. This time at his pocket, picked by Justin Falk. Hoisted up in the air by Bukestad beyond the reach of Ekholm. And retrieved by Bouchard. Oilers led 2-0 in that November game in St. Louis. Let it get away, lost 3-2. A late goal by Pius Suter, who's also injured for the St. Louis Blues, as we have an offside against Edmonton.
2 goals for Kapanen last night. Nice little jam out of the zone here by Bud Colson. And look at the back checking by Parayko. That's why he's made Team Canada. 6'6". He just starts to bump the Pistons and forces a little quicker shot maybe for Kapanen, who can really fire it. Having a tremendous season after missing a lot of time. 36 games. He stepped back in the lineup, has 7 points in the 7 games he's played. He really didn't miss a beat, which is not easy to do.
Off the neutral zone draw, fired in by Broberg. Ekholm off to Connor McDavid as we approach the midway point of this first period. Bouchard up to Frederick, and now McDavid streaks in around Parayko, and denied by Binnington. Didn't have the angle to wrap it around. Nathan Walker had backside coverage, and now he'll take an outlet pass and look up ice, locate Parayko, offside, whistled against the Blues.
Carbon X, proud sustainability partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Every detail matters. Every effort counts, on and off the ice.
Another chance here by the speed of McDavid. Nice pass by Bouchard into the middle. Little drop pass by Frederic catches McDavid in full motion. And again, Parayko with that reach just forces him to maybe go a little wider than he wanted to. Couple sharp angle shots on Binnington early in this game, and he's been tested in that regard. He's handled them well.
Dvorsky, clean face-off, win Cam Fowler. That's another offside. Holloway thought it was coming in a little sooner than it did as he backs off. Edmonton with a chance to reset. Nurse from Emberson. A dart. Savoy sent it toward Binnington, who played it to Cam Fowler, the veteran. He's had a tough year in the plus-minus department, playing a lot with his first full season as a National Hockey League. Nurse, cross ice ties a Coward. That went off an official, Travis Toomey, right in the slot. Finally grabbed by Savoyas for a moment. It seemed like all the players came to a halt trying to locate that puck.
You know, you get yourself set and the puck's going somewhere, and all of a sudden it changes direction quickly. You could see how it was like, whoops, that was right in the slot.
Nurse pasted against the boards by Tyler Tucker, and an outlet on target. Snuggerud to Jake Neighbors. Flying in from the right-hand side. This is the 6th straight game. We've talked about the Blues' struggling offense, where the opposition's leading scorer has fewer points than McDavid did in his 20-game point streak. 6 straight opponents, that's been the case. Chen will wind it around the boards. Anmark against Tucker. Nurse close by. Sent behind for Stastny up to Roslovic. He didn't get it out against Justin Falk. Ducks inside. Quick shot. And that went off the shaft of the stick, I believe, of Connor Ingram. Snuggerud the quick release and then held as Neighbors threw it into the blue paint by Connor Ingram with 8.5 to go in the first. The Oilers up 1-0. That guy featured tonight in Game 1000 has accounted for the 1 goal on Sportsnet.
Dirk, having to do all the work tonight on the wing. Frederic, the captain, and it is 1,000th game, all with the Edmonton Oilers. Number 93, Ryan Nugent Hopkins.
Wasn't that fantastic? I know we had the dads reading the lineup with Darnell Nurse's father leading the way. And those are friends of the Nuges who were the ones reading the lineup tonight. They must have read it right, considering the way the star of the show began the evening.
Well said, Gene. Power play goal, 5 minutes in for Ryan Nugent Hopkins. It's the difference in the game right now. Oilers on the second of a back-to-back. They've dropped 7 of 8 this year in that series. Hammer home. And boy, did Andrew Mangiapane need that. 2-0 Oilers.
You like to see goals like this from line, just getting the puck in deep, going to work. It was Janmark in the neutral zone navigating. Once this gets deep, it's puck up for grabs. And for Curtis Lazar, who had an assist last night in Vancouver, he's the one that comes up with that puck twice. Gets a heavy shot from a sharp angle on Binnington. This time the rebound right out to the slot, and Mangiapane just beats his guy Fowler to the spot and bangs this one home. No mistake on that one. Get yourself to the front of the net, get the puck there, good things happen. 2-0 Edmonton. A little shoving here. Buchnevich and Frederic on the face-off.
Mangiapane 6th of the year from Lazar, 2 of which have come against St. Louis. He scored to give the Oilers that 2-0 lead I talked about that got away from Edmonton in the first meeting this year. And Louis, that's just his 2nd goal since that game, November the 3rd. So that's what I meant when I said, did he need that?
Yeah, you know, healthy scratch, a bunch of games. You're in and out of the lineup. You just want to get in there and make something happen. But he gets an opportunity. Good job by him on that line, showing some speed, some grit, winning some battles, and scoring a big goal.
Stenberg, the Swedish rookie, with his 2nd shot on net tonight, kicked away by goaltender Connor Ingram. Buchnevich trying to battle through traffic. Bugstad, a little bit of a clear out on Jake Wallman. Got that elbow up. Now Buchnevich against Nugent Hopkins, who ducks away and finds Trent Frederick. Of course, this is his hometown club. Frederick hailing from St. Louis. Stenberg immediately neutralized by Stastny, and it's a reset for Wallman. Jake Wallman drafted by the St. Louis Blues. Third-round pick in 2014. Moving in, taking a shot, but Cole's net was deflected up in the air, and we got another penalty coming as McDavid touched up. It's going to be a hook.
Edmonton starting to roll here and roll lines respectively, and nice speed again through the neutral zone. It's going to be hooking, as you mentioned, to Nathan Walker. And that look by Jim Montgomery, the head coach, kind of said it all as he just gets tangled up. Let's see.
I think it's coming this way.
It was right on Podkolzin here through the neutral. Yeah, once he gets in there, gets the stick caught in there. It was pretty light, and I think that's probably why they don't like it too much on the bench, is he's having some conversation right now. That's Jim Montgomery I'm talking about, with Cody Beach, who's in front of the St. Louis bench.
That wasn't the traditional hook in terms of digging in, Louis.
Yeah, it didn't disrupt Podkolzin one little bit. But he did get it to a spot where you're not supposed to have your stick, and that's what they see, and that's what they call, and they called it this time.
7 minutes to play in the first period. Cleared by Broberg. I got to say, Louis, I have an understanding of why St. Louis has struggled on the road. To me, the Blues look a bit flat, like the Nuge ceremony, the Ryan Nugent Hopkins ceremony kind of derailed them a little bit emotionally. They have not quite been engaged in this game the way you'd think for a team battling for a spot. Nugent Hopkins. McDavid. Broken up. I get caught up. You hear all those chants, Louis. I start thinking that's his first name. Bouchard to McDavid. Nugent Hopkins trying to stuff it short side. A save made by Binnington. And taken away by Toropchenko, and the Blues have something going here, short-handed. Toropchenko with Sundqvist. Backhander save, Ingram. Did not cheat off that far post.
Yeah, had confidence in the backtrack that he was going to be taken.
Wallman, that Hyman driving in. That's another penalty on Tucker. 5-on-3 coming for 56 seconds.
Getting themselves into penalty trouble here. They've had a couple power plays themselves, so the officials early on have set a tone here on penalties they're calling. Here's the chance by Toropchenko, and good job by Bouchard to take away Sundqvist, who's on the back door. That's confidence in Ingram, knowing that that's taken care of. Stands the goal on that sense of the penalty right there by Tucker. Into the hands. Slashing is the call as Hyman gets his feet pumping, driving that puck to the net, and a lengthy 5-on-3 of 56 seconds. For the most potent power play in the league.
3 goals on the 5-on-3 in a total of 5 minutes 20 seconds with the 2-man this year for the Edmonton Oilers. So McDavid will be chased out of the circle, replaced by Nugent Hopkins. But Edmonton, who buried Vancouver with 6 in the second period last night, can take complete command here if they can convert on this power play. McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, McDavid. Bouchard winds it up. No shot. McDavid over to Wallman. Swing and a miss on a one-time bid from inside the right face-off dot. McDavid peers inside. Trying to get it to Nugent Hopkins, and that was broken up by Parayko. Well positioned, and he's able to shovel it length of the ice. Still, the Oilers should be able to gain the zone here with plenty of time left on the 5-on-3. McDavid does exactly that for Bouchard. 20 seconds. McDavid in front, redirected. Nugent Hopkins missed from a sharp angle, and that'll crawl outside the zone. Edmonton look at Nugent Hopkins' way thus far in this first period. McDavid gets it back from Bouchard. Tried to slide it over to Wallman. That didn't make it through. Caught a skate. Hard rim by Broberg. One penalty is over. Bouchard to McDavid. Nugent Hopkins down low. Feathers it inside for Hyman. And that was hammered up the right-hand side. And Connor Ingram will set it up for Bouchard. No shots, Louis, in that 5-on-3 power play time, which was almost a full minute. Isaac Howard around the board. Second unit on for Edmonton. McDavid stayed out, but couldn't hold the zone. Toropchenko shorthanded, a hard pass. That's caught by Parayko. Gets the boards by Nurse, but not before he drains the power play time inside 25 seconds. Ekholm to Savoy. Against Broberg, forced out wide. Falk will challenge Howard inside to Roslovic. Up top, Nurse gets it back from Ekholm. Roslovic to Howard, and at the last second, Schenn got in there. That was tipped on its way out of play. One more face-off for the Oilers on the power play, but just 3 seconds remaining.
So Jake Wallman filling in for Leon Draisaitl, and this is where he typically lets that ripper go, and he's going to learn pretty quickly. This thing is going to come to him pretty hot. Here's Nugent Hopkins. That's maybe the best chance. Had the light of day behind Binnington. He takes his time, corrals it, just can't finish that off, and that look says it all. From Ryan Nugent Hopkins in game 1,000. Already has 1 goal, almost had a second one there.
Yeah, he was thinking that should have been goal number 284. Got one to open the scoring, but the Blues are able to win this face-off, and they're going to kill this power play. That's well done by St. Louis. Maybe that will get the Blues going in this game. Hugstad to the net. That was tipped just wide. Edmonton, an opportunity to break it open, couldn't do it, and now Kapanen is shaken up.
TD Forss was quick to get on the ice too.
The shot was from Fowler, and Kapanen, who just came back, remember, a couple of weeks ago, and has been terrific since coming back. And Louis, it looks like he's shaken up again here.
Yeah, he just, blew a tire here. And this is a good sign that he's getting up himself, I think. He was a little bit reluctant to jump up and put some weight on the leg. And there was a lot of speed coming back for Kapanen here, and then he just blows a little bit. You watch him here, he's tangled up, and then as he's turning, bam. And sometimes that's the worst thing that can happen, but good to see him on his feet and back on the bench. He'll walk down the tunnel and hopefully walk this one off.
Emma's philosophy was go, go, go. But what she really needed was stop, stop, stop. Expedia, made.
We're in Bulgaria, searching for a CEO who's gone MIA.
I was feeling betrayed. They said they ordered the materials. They scammed me. That's how I felt.
I really hope you get what's coming to you.
Where is the company founder?
Good question. We're trying to find out if he's even still in Canada.
We check out social media. Finally, we get a hit. Okay, let's do this.
We have a few questions to ask you.
Monday on Prime. When the game gets wild. Between his skates, he scores! Will Toronto take control? A shot. Wild Leafs. Monday at 7:30. Prime Monday Night Hockey.
It's on Monday.
It's only on Prime.
Well, Jack Kapanen did make his way all the way to the dressing room, so not a good sign. He did try and walk it off behind me for a little bit as we were in that commercial timeout, but not a good sign, and he never really did walk cleanly. Just a little bit of a slip here, but when you slip that close to the boards, there's just nowhere to go, and he was in some distress before TD Forss, the head athletic therapist for the Oilers, got to him. Good to see him jump up and come off on his own 2 feet, but not good to see him go all the way to the dressing room to try and figure out what's going on. We'll keep you updated when we can.
Just his 8th game back after missing 36. And remember, he re-injured himself working his way back the first time. Janmark with a centering pass that Holloway got a stick on and deflected it actually just wide of the net. Nurse put it back behind. Mangiapane. The second goal for Edmonton. Nugent Hopkins said he had on the power play, and Mangiapane said even strength. But the Blues are able to break it up and come the other way. However, they're offside.
that little shot by Darnell Nurse there. You know, when forwards are coming out aggressive at you as a defenseman, they're trying to take the shot lane away. So they're in the shooting lane trying to front the puck. And what he does is he caroms it off the wall short side, and it doesn't have to be hard. And you're going to see you've got a presence in front. So instead of trying to go through all that traffic, look what he does. Zip it hard off the wall. It's a perfect little pickup right there by Mangiapane. That's just a heady play instead of trying to force it through a couple blocks and having a team transition against you. Smart play by Nurse.
Jake Neighbors off the neutral zone face-off. We'll send it down low. Blues nailed front offside. Here's Snuggerud. Still classified as a rookie. The Oilers clear. Jake Wallman back to the Blues line. Nugent Hopkins knew he was going to have to tag back up with Frederick in the zone already. Tucker across to Justin Falk. Snuggerud to Neighbors. Lifted in deep. Ingram gives it a look as Stastny goes up the right-hand side. Connor Ingram 4-2 lifetime against the Blues. Now he's looking at a counterattack from Neighbors. Off to Snuggerud, off balance shot. And that sailed wide as Snuggerud took a tumble in front of Ingram. Meanwhile, carried by Roslovic through the neutral zone for Frederick. Jake Wallman tried to put it down low, stolen away by Broberg. Had his pocket picked by McDavid. Hard to the net. McDavid somehow didn't score. He had Binnington completely dinked and didn't finish. Frederick tries to follow up. Now Bouchard with a hard pitch, but the Blues are able to slash it back to center. And now carried in by Hyman. Play onside. Hyman circling. Ekholm for a moment open the slot. Eventually out to Bouchard and back to McDavid. Whose pass disrupted by Stenberg and played by Bouchard back at center. But Colson back in for McDavid. Drop for Bouchard. But Colson. McDavid, league leader in scoring, hustling behind the net, in front, knocked away from Colson. Drive, Ekholm, score! Zach Hyman tips home the 3-0 goal. He stays hot. That's 6 goals in his last 7, and 18 on the year for number 18.
So what a run for Connor McDavid. We had the 20-point streak. Here he just walks around everyone. Just can't tuck this home. Little tip with the right pad by Binnington. I think saves a goal for sure. But then going to work once again. Great exchange down low, up high, all over the place for Connor McDavid. This is a blast by Ekholm. Presence in front. Podkolzin was there disrupting, and then Hyman gets that paddle down. Perfect redirection on the Ekholm blast. All that confusion and the movement led to that chance in front. Have a presence, 3-0 Edmonton.
Well, in the presence of mind to make sure to present that stick a good 1.5 feet in front of Binnington's pads, Louis, so that allows you the space to elevate it over him. I guess that's why Hyman scores from about that spot routinely about 25 times a year. They don't travel far, but they usually find a way home. Zach Hyman watches his good chance for Roslovic turned aside by Binnington. He's given up 3 more goals here in the first period. We told you. Came in 1-5-1 in his last 7 starts. The 1 win was a shutout, but he has been struggling for much of the last 3 months of the year. Sent in deep by the Blues. Dvorsky whistles it around. Falk cut off. Holloway tried to tuck it inside. Dvorsky back to Tucker. And now Holloway. Looks inside. Nurse pesters him. Jordan Kyrou doesn't realize time was running. No shot for the Blues, and they're in a 3-0 hole after the opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, strong defensive period for Edmonton, but also offensively. Doing it the right way, transitionally, working down low, winning puck battles and getting pucks to the net. Can't ask for much more. Ryan Nugent Hopkins got things started with his goal early on in his 1,000th game, and I think that just injected a lot of the life into the Edmonton bench.
Ryan Nugent Hopkins celebrated the game's opening goal. Oilers made it 2-0. Andrew Mangiapane with his second of the year against the Blues. And Zach Hyman has given Edmonton its working margin of 3-0 after 1 on Sportsnet.
A better night or a better start to the night on the part of the Edmonton Oilers with the pregame ceremony involving Ryan Nugent Hopkins, his 1,000th game, and then he comes out and scores the first of 3 goals to this point for the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers help support so many charities, kids, families that are in need in oil country, and already so far this season they've been able to give away 500 prizes and over $5.4 million in life-changing jackpots. Last week, the latest group of lucky winners took the trip down to Rogers Place to pick up their jackpot checks from the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation. Here are some of those very, very, very happy Albertans.
It was a bit of a shock, actually. I thought maybe somebody commandeered my email and sent me a spam. That's actually what I thought. So it took us a while, maybe a whole day, till somebody answered from the foundation and said, yes, you are the winner.
A little shocking at first, yeah.
Yeah, I think shocking, and because you hear people win it, but you don't think you're going to be part of that winning. So I think it was exciting because we've been 50-50 for a very long time, so.
Just excited to get it, I guess, yeah?
Yeah, excited to get it.
I was like in a daze at work. I wanted to tell everybody, but I thought,
and then the official email came in 2 hours later,
saying
from you guys saying it was the winner, or it appears you won. Something right, and I'm like, okay, that's verified.
I checked my numbers first to make sure that everything lined up, because in the voicemail it said that I had won, so got the numbers confirmed, got my wife to double check that I wasn't seeing things, and then made the call back. So yeah, probably the craziest phone call I've ever had in my life.
You know how you get spam on emails and all this? You don't believe anything. So I called Maggie, you got to come up and take a look at this. And she still didn't believe it either. And so then I replied back, but you don't believe it until you get a bit more information, and then all of a sudden, fantastic.
Well, I'm a planner, so you start to do a list and say, what am I going to do with it that's going to make a difference? Maybe travel more. I've retired and I'd like to travel more.
Just pay bills, I guess, and
enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
We go to Mexico on Friday.
We're going to have one big family vacation. And the boyfriends and girlfriends are excited. They get to come.
They all get along. So
yeah, they're all close, so couldn't have happened at a better time.
Definitely pay some bills off, and then we're going to put a little aside for some trips, and then probably a kitchen reno.
We haven't decided, 100% yet. Our boys are 22 and 25, so we want to make sure we have some of that money set aside for them. Probably retire earlier than I expected, and go enjoy a couple of beers in Phoenix tonight, I guess.
All right, congratulations to all the latest winners. You could be next because the Oilers No Kid Left Alone 50-50, presented by Rogers Now Live, and support a Little Warriors. The current jackpot is, well, very close to $500,000 and climbing fast. Get your tickets now anywhere in Alberta at edmontonoilers.com/5050 on a night where we celebrate Ryan Nugent Hopkins, July 29, 2022 at the Council of Yukon First Nation Center Ice Hockey Camp. And among those helping out with the hockey camp, well, a potential number 1 overall in Gavin McKenna, and one of the teams that he was involved in with as a kid, they are here as well. The single A White Horse Mustangs. Congratulations to them as they played some AA teams in Edmonton this weekend. On the way, we continue our main event.
Sunday, February 1st.
Good evening, Grammys.
Join City TV as we present music's biggest night.
And the Grammy goes to
the Grammy Awards, live Sunday, February 1st on City TV.
Want to watch the Oilers?
You mean the Flames?
You guys need NHL Game Finder.
Just enter your postal code and see what games you can watch based on your location.
Always use the right tool for the job.
Find your game. Go to sportsnetplus.ca/gamefinder.
This February, the cutest puppies yet go nose to nose and paw to paw for Puppy Bowl glory.
Touchdown, Cheesecake!
Puppy Bowl, a simulcast event, Sunday, February 8th at 2 Eastern.
TELUS 9899, 3 of 3 Wi-Fi bars, status bar item. Swipe down with 3 fingers to reveal notifications. Swipe up with 3 fingers to reveal the control center.
Drafted #1 overall by the Oilers back in 2011, Ryan arrived with expectations, and over time, he's met them with professionalism, consistency, and quiet leadership. Every night this jersey means something. Wearing it 1,000 times says you respected it, you represented it, and you gave everything you had to it. Ryan, congratulations on this milestone. It's a special achievement in the history of the Edmonton Oilers, and one that's very, very well deserved.
Yeah. Well said by Kevin Lowe. 1,037, 964 his first stint. Then he came back and played 2 seasons and played 73 more games. As I'm joined by Bob Stauffer and Craig McTavish. One thing I loved about Kevin, I asked him earlier in the week, and then he said, well, let's wait till 999 is done, and then I'll do the video for 1,000. He didn't want to jinx him.
Didn't want to jinx it.
Yeah, I'm not sure anything could jinx Nugent Hopkins to this point. What do you think of the night so far?
Well, Kevin Lowe, nobody wore the jersey with more pride and tenacity than he did. So a great tribute to Ryan. I think, unbelievable ceremony. The Oilers do that ceremony so well now. And I thought it was the right length and a really good tribute to Ryan. And a couple things that stand out about Ryan to me are, firstly, how little he's changed. He's
unlike us.
Unlike us. He still can't grow a mustache, but he continues to try. Yeah. So I give him that for perseverance. And, how unflappable he is. You know how little Connor McDavid likes to talk about himself. Well, it might be a tie with RNH, a completely humble superstar. And his heart rate never gets over 55 beats per minute, even when he was kicking the crap onto somebody in a couple of those videos, because a lot of people don't know how tough he is, but he can fight. And even when he's kicking the crap out of somebody, his heart rate's still at 55. So amazingly calm influence in the dressing room, and God knows we need one with the media that we have around here. So thankfully we have them in so many ways.
Matthew, they all love him too. And I'll tell you why, because we've spent so long with Ryan Nugent Hopkins at Edmonton, and we all know he touches every aspect of the Oilers game. He can play first line left wing with David. He can send him to the second line if need be in the pinches. He's done the last couple nights, and 2 great setups last night. He can kill penalties. He's on the power play, all that. But the one thing that the media knows, and Jack knows this, and Louis knows this, and Gene knows this, Rob Brown and myself, we've done more events with Ryan Nugent Hopkins than any other Oiler player, okay? And he's even a better guy off the ice than he is, around the game. And it's guys like that it'll inherently bring a smile to you. And that's why it makes it even better. When he does decide to step up and dust off Justin Hall in a fight, or, drop the flippers with Sean Monahan, because he's sort of like the smiling assassin, right? You don't think of him that way because, he's got a baseball mustache, 9 on each side, right? But at the end of the day, he's still a heck of a player. So, it was a great tribute. I think a lot of people, I would say he would be amongst the most popular cult figures in this market. We've had, McDavid, Draisaitl, Gretzky, Messi, generational superstars, and then there's Ryan Nugent Hopkins.
He must not have a dog, though, Gene, because we're used to seeing Leon's dog and Connor's dog. I mean, where was RNH's dog during that ceremony?
Right, exactly. We should, you brought up Leon, just as we go to break, we should, wish the Draisaitl's the best in Germany as they go through a personal situation. We look forward to having Leon back soon. These were the pucks, handwritten by Brad Harrison, digitalized and then put on for the pregame ceremony.
The Raptors face Steph Curry and the Warriors for the final time this season.
What a dunk!
Raptors, Warriors, Tuesday on Sportsnet 1. Toronto takes on Vancouver for the second time in under a week.
Shoots and scores!
Celtics, Golden Eyes, Thursday on Sportsnet Ontario and Pacific.
Place tonight, Ryan Nugent Hopkins, happy to be joined by his brother Adam, who is here, and you got a chance to see your brother just before tonight's game at the house. What was he a little bit nervous, or was he as calm as he always is about tonight?
It seemed calm as always. I think it was more special. I think there were more feelings and more emotion for him, but still a job to do. And I think, this one, it'll settle in a little bit later for him, I believe, truthfully. So,
what do you think of the career that he's had?
Special to be able to stay in a place like Edmonton and play his whole career this far, and have a chance to win a couple times and be a huge part of the community. I think that's unique in sport. We're proud of him as a family, and I think he's really proud of his time here, but also super grateful and thankful for everything that Edmonton's given to him, and he hopes to provide more, to be honest. So.
What kind of a big brother were you to him?
The best. The best. I mean, that's not even a question, Gene.
Well, it was, but that was the right answer. Louis and Jack, take it away.
You walked right into that one, Gene. I don't know what you were expecting in terms of an answer.
No hesitation either. That's good.
Yes, I like that too.
I think Ryan would agree. Speaks very highly of Adam.
I think we've got a penalty here.
Yeah, it's been a penalty-filled game so far early on. It started early in the first period, but I think for the officials...
game, Ekholm.
Edmonton 14 has 2 minutes for delay again.
This one just gets over the glass as he tries to chip this off the glass and misses delay of the game.
Yeah, Dvorsky got a stick in there, and initially, as you can maybe imagine, Louis, the geometry of where I'm located, couldn't quite tell whether he got a piece of that, but the replay there, great look.
Not by our argument for that call either.
No. Neighbors tried to curl it inside. You would almost say, Louis, he was too honest. Snug a little behind Broberg.
But the fact that the stick was there forced him to elevate that puck, and therefore that's why you forecheck. You forecheck to try and create those mistakes.
Jordan Kyrou tried to dangle his way in. That didn't pan out, and the loose puck slugged the other way by Spencer Stastny. As Louis talked about, this penalty kill still middle of the pack. It's always a long way back when you get off to a slow start on the PK, but Edmonton, a much better team in the second third of this season than they were in the first 20-some-odd games. McDavid couldn't clear, walking the line and protecting is Broberg. He'll shovel it down low. Broberg got banged up the other day, went into concussion protocol, missed some time, but he's back. Wide open in front. Snuggerud denied by Ingram, who came way out to challenge. Nugent Hopkins shorthanded, flipped one into the Oiler bench, but that was impressive work by Ingram, pushing all the way out top of the blue paint.
It was, and he fought for it. That's a good sign. This is one of the better chances for the Blues. I mean, this is right in the slot, mano-a-mano, and Snuggerud could really shoot it. He likes to shoot it. He gets himself to those spots and maybe doesn't elevate quite how he wants to, but Ingram's way out to cut that angle down, and there's the numbers for Ingram and how in the last four you can see him really buckling down and playing some tremendous hockey. Broberg just came back after that injury and played just a quiet 25-plus minutes. No problem in that regard, so good to see him back in the lineup. And speaking of injuries, no Kasperi Kapanen to start this second for Edmonton. That's not a good sign.
Falk a little give and go with Buchnevich. Dalibor Dvorsky. Buchnevich guides it back to Falk. 25 seconds left on the power play. Holloway took his eye off it. Nurse couldn't wheel it past him. Holloway able to keep for Sundqvist. Around the boards, Dvorsky lost the handle, but Falk is there, using a screen to get around Yandel. Shoots, and that might have nipped the blocker of Ingram on its way by, but the Blues will get nothing on the power play, and Oilers perfect on the kill, and a power play goal to boot as Buchnevich enters the zone with a shot that sails high off the plexi, grabbed eventually by Emerson, squeezed off the puck, centering pass, and a wrong-footed glove save made by Ingram against Toropchenko, who didn't get all he wanted, but still a knuckle puck that Ingram was able to track and field flawlessly.
Working the puck to the slot, the Blues have had a few chances. Early on in the first period, there was a similar chance, and it's a good forecheck by Nuge, the ex-Oiler. Not all of them, but sometimes those are more difficult slip saves to make. Toropchenko has the right idea, trying to get this to the net as quick as possible. It's a little bit of a knuckler that Ingram has to kind of bat and then hold on to with the glove through a screen. So a great job by Ingram once again tracking that puck well and being in position to make that save.
And coming the other way. You know, he's kind of sliding away from the flow of the shot. Still able to lay the leather to it. Now you've got Bukestad digging in against Curtis Lazar. 2.5 gone by, second period. Edmonton building a 3-0 lead, meaning the Oilers now have reeled off 9 consecutive goals on this back-to-back. Again, just looking for their second win in 9 tries on the back end of a back-to-back. And a busy slate for the Oilers. This caps off a 5-game week. And they'll go right back to work against the Metro Division later this week. Tuesday, Jersey. Thursday, Pittsburgh. Saturday, Washington. Toropchenko in from the left-hand side. Carved it loose for Walker. Blasted by Parayko. That stayed out. Rebound to Stastny. In a dogfight with Toropchenko, he won the battle up to Janmark, who coughed it up at center, tossed back in by Walker.
A lot of claps on the bench and taps with the sticks for that block by Mangiapane on Colton Parayko, who could really blast the puck, Jack. He ate that one up.
Box, a lot of people forget, very briefly an Oiler, played a couple games for Edmonton a few years back. Back with St. Louis, the team that gave him his first crack at regular action. Shoveled wide by Snuggerud off the rush. Falk had it blocked. Tried to go inside to Snuggerud. Stenberg briefly had it. Pried loose by Ekholm. Hyman the other way with Propulsion trailing. Zach Hyman tried to feed it down low, but Colson, it came free side of the net and is pinned there by Bennington.
This period brought to you by Rona. Make sure your home can take on hockey all season long. Build it right. Build it Rona.
Well, here's what the bench was pretty excited about. Colton Parayko tickling the rafters, just let this one go, and that's getting in the lane. You know the shot's coming, and you just stand your ground and take it right off the laces. Shrugs that one off. This stick does come up from Tucker. A little high, tangled up with Podkolzin, and no penalty on the play, but did catch him up in the face.
Lose. Minus 24 goal differential in the second period. And they've scored the fewest goals of any team in the league in the third. So, needless to say, a tall order for St. Louis on the road in Edmonton. Isaac Howard stripped. Sundqvist will dump it in. Meanwhile, for the Oilers, they're trying to build some momentum at home. They're 9-3-1 in their last 13 on the road, but they've actually dropped 4 of 5 here at Rogers Place. First of an 8-game homestand. Holloway gets it in deep. Longest homestand for the Oilers since 1982. Roslovic stripped at center.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Jabbed at by Nurse, Kyrou. And Louis, as you know from your time, it's hard to stay sharp when you're at home that long. It's a shot. The pad was driven into the back of the net. And it remains 3-0.
Yeah, crashing the net was Dylan Holloway. He was down on the ice after as everybody comes in now. Dvorak with a nice job to get right in front. Has one chop out, a second opportunity. Then you can see Holloway back after missing the last 15 games due to injury. Comes right in. You're going to see him pile drive right through and then just shove the right pad of Ingram right over the line. They'll take a look.
There's no goal on the play. The puck was frozen prior to it entering the net.
There you go. He just announced that it was frozen before entering the net. I mean, you could still see the puck briefly under the pad. So I don't blame Holloway for trying to jam away at it. The ex-Oiler, very popular here in Edmonton when he played for the Oilers, but because he goes right through and continues to push the pad over the line, quickly waved off.
You know who he's not popular with? Vince Dunn.
Yeah, I don't know what it is between those two guys, but I love it.
Former Blue.
It's okay not to like the opponent.
Bjugstad lining up, winning a face-off cleanly back. Logan Mailloux, shot blocked, rebound sent wide by Stenberg. He was a late first-round pick in 2023. Two-time World Junior player for Team Sweden, Nugent Hopkins. Set up by Frederick. All alone, Lawman denied. Rebound, shooting. Somehow that stayed out. Binnington at his back to the play. And I think the prostrate Blue that's in the blue paint likely saved the 4-0 goal. Is that Bjugstad or Fowler?
Bjugstad was one of the guys laying down for sure, and he's 6'6", so he takes up a lot of space. I have no idea how this didn't cross the line, though. Couple great opportunities in tight, and then a second opportunity. Good defensive zone coverage. It was Frederick down low playing the center position. Receives this puck, and that allows Nugent Hopkins to get up the ice, and he puts a beauty pass into Wallman.
Nugent Hopkins. I don't know how that stayed out.
So, I mean, they're jamming away. Is this puck underneath, though? They're going to take a look at this. The puck did go into the net. Again, this is a lot of stuff happening here. And there's the chance by Nugent Hopkins as he corrals that puck. And look where the puck is.
Frederick jabbing away at it. Does it get underneath the midsection of Bjugstad?
Best job to try and not let the... there it is. Tell you what.
That's over.
When did the whistle go? It seemed to be a late whistle, to be honest with you. It wasn't blown down right away because this puck was pinballing around in there. You can see it right there off the skate of Frederick. He jams away. And here's the thing. I don't think it's the same with a centerman laying down the line. You can push him over the line if you want to because he's not allowed to freeze the puck there.
Nugent Hopkins' shot went off Bjugstad's backside. This is going to count.
After the review, the play was already deemed to be covered. The puck was covered. The play was dead. Therefore, we have no goal. Call the ice stands.
Got a little ahead of ourselves there. I heard the reaction by the fans. I didn't know if he'd already pointed as a goal at the center or not, but no. Similar to the one at the other end, they're saying it was already covered. And it's the intent to blow the whistle. You have to remember that, too. It's not necessarily when you hear the whistle. I don't know, though. That was pretty darn quick, and that puck, you could see it bobble through before that whistle blew.
Would have been Frederick's goal. I mean, it's underneath the right elbow of Bjugstad after the jab, and now Chris Knobloch is pondering a challenge. First, he's checking with Cody Beach to make sure it is a situation where he can challenge.
Well, here's the thing. The stick does go underneath Bjugstad. He doesn't push him over the line. So it's not like that puck, it was pretty quick. They've made their decision. They're going to drop this puck. He had a conversation with the officials, but I agree with you. I think that happened pretty quickly, and as you saw in the one replay from behind the net, it was already in there before he started to raise that whistle to the mouth and blow the whistle down. But they're standing by it.
And you can always go with the intent to blow, and that ends the conversation. So that, Louis, I think, might have been what Chris Knobloch's reaction was. Well, all right, you can use that, but I'm not going to be any less frustrated by the fact that he believed it was in after Frederick jabbed at it, put it underneath the right elbow of Bjugstad. Whistled in immediately by Nathan Walker, so the score remains 3-0. And despite the fact that Edmonton seems completely in control, this game is far from out of reach. But Colson against Sundqvist, who's a little bit ragged here. Ekholm wisely to open ice for Bouchard. Now put Colson. McDavid breaks in. Pulls up. A lot of room. Bouchard shoots. Save made. Binnington. And the rebound Torchenko. And the Oilers, those 9 goals, Louis, we talked about. McDavid has a secondary assist, and that's all on the night. Streaking in left-hand side, heading for the net. Somehow he didn't score in the first period after having Binnington down and out. We talked about it. Binnington maybe his best save of the night.
And didn't get an assist on the Hyman goal, but he did all the work early on in that shift. But I agree with you. I think that's a good sign, though, Jack.
Especially without Draisaitl.
Having other people step up and produce and get involved in the scoring.
Neighbors coughed it up at the Edmonton line. Justin Falk will try that side again.
I don't think Edmonton's too worried if Connor's going to put up points.
Kyrie's shot deflected just over the plexiglass. Nearly 7 minutes gone by in the second period. Coming right at you. It was Wallman, then it was Nugent Hopkins, then it was Frederick, and it stayed out.
This is a part of American heritage. And if you really love your country, you're going to have to love moonshine.
Tonight's Closer Look brought to you by Specsavers. Don't miss a play. Keep your eyes healthy with regular eye exams, including OCT.
Ryan Nugent Hopkins playing in game number 1,000 tonight. There's a young Ryan Nugent Hopkins in his first NHL game 15 years ago, his first National Hockey League goal. Right there against the Pittsburgh Penguins, the celebration. This is a grizzled Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Still looks young. I like what Jordan Everly said. Benjamin Button still looks great, still looks young, and scores the first goal of this game in game number 1,000.
I didn't mind Bob Stauffer's mustache line there. I hadn't heard that one before. The baseball mustache? 9 on each side? I didn't know that one. I hadn't heard that expression. Here's Roslovic. Maybe I've lived a sheltered life. Roslovic to Frederick, and he pounds one wide. Rebound Emerson. Nugent Hopkins off his back foot, and that floater caught cleanly by Bennington.
No matter McDavid's ambition, CIBC would have a personalized plan, just like we'll have a plan for you too. CIBC, proud partner of Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers.
The Oilers, No Kids Left Alone 50-50, presented by Rogers, now live in support of Little Warriors. The current jackpot, well, just inching towards $600,000. It climbs fast. Get your tickets now at edmontonoilers.com/50-50 for more chances to win.
Oilers on a run of 9 in a row after beating Vancouver last night, 6-0. They did that in December of last season, and they scored 10 straight at one point. Here's Roslovic. In across the line against Braden Shen. Isaac Howard. Rolling puck collected by Nurse and kicked back to Emerson. Howard from center snaps it in. Bennington to
70% battery power. Not charging. Status bar up.
Parayko. Snuggerud did not get it out. Jake Wallman tried to curl it in front. That was deflected. Savoy. And snapped back behind by Stastny. Then backing up Bennington tonight, Joel Hofer has actually never played the Oilers.
He's the man. Because he had the better record coming in the last 10 games.
Far better. Shut out Carolina on Tuesday, and then ended Tampa's 11-game winning streak on Friday. 3-2 in a shootout. It was the first time the Blues won a game that went to extra time. They'd begun the year with 8 straight losses. Another reason why they find themselves on the outside looking in as far as the playoffs. Bukestad driving to the net. His shot missed. Rebound. Bukestad has goals in back-to-back games. He's back on top of the puck. A centering pass comes through. Mayu to Fowler. Broken up by Mangiapane. Wallman pursuing, and Stastny served it off the boards and back through center. Mayu up the right-hand side. St. Louis offside. Face-off will come back into the Blues zone.
Not a bad play by Stastny there to try and not force that one to the middle off the wall. Here since December 1st, you can see the differences in the goaltending. And Hoffer, as you mentioned, the stronger goaltender. He's had the better numbers. He's put some stretches together here for Jordan Binnington. Hasn't been his best little stretch in the last 10 games. 5 times he's given up 4 more goals against. But he's one of those guys, Jack, that you got to keep putting in there because it can turn in a hurry for him. And he's one of those competitive guys that they're hoping when he's playing against some higher talented teams, he's going to try and dig in. Down by 3 in this one as Edmonton came out flying in the first period.
McDavid wins the face-off, showing slapper Ekholm instead over to Bouchard, getting it back from McDavid, looking through a lane, shot wide, rebound tapped wide by Hyman. He goes down in a heap. But the Oilers still have a possession here. But Colson high off the glass. Tucker and Hyman continue to battle. Now it's McDavid in front, poked on net. And Binnington a lunging stop to keep the score 3-0.
Dogged work by Hyman here. Staying in the battle, heavy lifting right here up against Tucker. Looks like he's out of it. Strong on the stick to wrap this one back down low to McDavid, and maybe a little friendly fire. Looked like Podkolzin gets this puck, but maybe Falk with a little tip of his stick is the one that almost puts it into his own net, and Binnington has to bail him out with a good reaction save. So good job off the stick of Falk to be there to make the save. But Podkolzin's presence in front of the net again. On the Hyman goal earlier in the first period, he was in front creating that distraction that led to Hyman being open.
Schenn wins the faceoff from Nugent Hopkins, whose second effort keeps the puck in the zone. Broberg hard up the glass, and now Schenn, the St. Louis captain, squeezed off the puck by Darnell Nurse. Snuggerud rolls over with secondary support. Frederick with a steal. Briefly bothered by Parayko, and then he'll take a skate. I wonder, Louis, to your earlier point, whether Jim Montgomery at one point will face a decision, though. If this trend continues,
Not charging.
the Blues need to string together wins.
Absolutely. I think that he'll make a decision. I don't think he'll have too hard of a time doing that. You're eventually going to go with the guy that's getting you wins.
Jordan Kyrou. Because the Blues season is reaching critical mass. I mean, Louis, we're 35 games and under for most clubs in the NHL right now. The time is running out. It's hard to believe, but that's indeed the situation. Frederick sends it indeed. Game 50 for Edmonton tonight. Game 49 for St. Louis. Bouchard taken away by Dylan Holloway. Curling, centering. And that was tipped by Colson. Kyrou did well to hold the zone. Bouchard missed Ekholm, and Holloway's right back on the puck. But when he tried to return it to Parayko, the pass disrupted and forced back through center. McDavid to Ekholm, who was a +4 last night in the 6-0 dismantling of the Canucks. Ekholm to McDavid, challenging Broberg. It's Hyman, shoots and scores. Hyman's got 2. Edmonton 4, St. Louis nothing.
Seeing a lot of this slingshotting going on for Edmonton. This is Podkolzin looking for the middle, not there, back to the defenseman, and then it's a beautiful pass by Ekholm. For Connor McDavid, he takes a little different route. His back's to Ekholm, but then he just spins. Once he spins, he picks up that puck full motion, almost deflected away, but still makes it through to Zach Hyman, who is just a scoring machine right now. And he one-times this one past Binnington. Beautiful shot, excellent exit out of the zone by Edmonton, leads to that one.
19 on the year now for Zach Hyman. 7 in his last 7 games.
I wonder here if they're taking a look at this. For Jim Montgomery on the bench beside me, they're taking a timeout. They want to take a little longer look at this. Maybe the spin move of McDavid when he picks up this puck, but I think he has possession. On my first take, I didn't see someone that was offside. I'm guessing that's what it is, unless he's trying to maybe settle things down, but they still continue to look down to the screen. So we're going to take a look at this as McDavid crosses the line. Watch Hyman.
I think that's offside, is it not?
Well, I mean, that puck's a foot over the line by McDavid right there. Is his toe still on the line? Here it is. This is a really close call.
Wow. Yeah, I can't tell from that long-range view whether that toe is still on the line or whether there's white ice showing.
He's not showing his cards, that's for sure. He's taking the complete timeout here before if he's going to challenge this. And it doesn't look like he's going to. It's too close to call. No challenge, no review. 4-0 Edmonton. Here's a real good look here from this angle. Boy, I'll tell you, that's
I think he's
you
offside.
Can't see it on the stick, though.
No, you can't.
There was one like that with Draisaitl, I believe.
Yes.
Last year, the year before, when he was crossing the line, and it protected the puck from the shot. Nonetheless, no challenge, 4-0.
Hyman's got a pair, and 7 in his last 7. It's all Oilers on Nuge's 1000th.
American Idol, new season, January 26th on City TV. live Sunday, February 1st.
Good evening, Grammys.
Join City TV as we present music's biggest night.
And the Grammy goes to
the Grammy Awards, live Sunday, February 1st on City TV.
Well, on a night when the Edmonton Oilers are celebrating Ryan Nugent Hopkins' 1,000th game and chants of Nuge are cascading throughout Rogers Place on the ice, Edmonton is doing work. Louis, what sticks out most about the first 30 minutes?
I think the way they're controlling the play and the way they're coming out of the zone, number one. The St. Louis Blues are a hard-working team, and Jim Montgomery's liked the way they've gone to battle in the last couple games especially. He says they're doing the things that build confidence and make you want to go out there and go shift after shift. But if you watch the way Edmonton's defending, 11 shots against so far through a period in, 30 minutes of play is pretty impressive to keep a team kind of backed off like that. And then when they do get the puck in the offensive zone, they're finding chances.
Well, you're coming off back-to-back wins over the two division leaders in the Eastern Conference, Carolina in the Metro and Tampa in the Atlantic. And the Lightning have won 11 straight. Tucker, a shot, a save by Connor Ingram. So, for me, this is not necessarily a club that's 2 games under 500. It's a club that, as you suggested, last week has played some really good hockey.
And, the puck hasn't gone in for them easily this season, but that work ethic, they have created some chances, and when they have, Connor Ingram's made some solid saves again.
Tristan Jarry was the starter last night in Vancouver, and Ingram did not travel with the club. Calvin Pickard backed up, and now the Blues are once again offside.
If you build it, they will come. Coventry Homes, never done building. The official builder of the Edmonton Oilers.
There's Jarry backing up tonight, sitting next to my partner. How's he doing protecting you, big fella?
He's doing good. He had the glove up pretty quickly the one time the puck was about to come into the bench, so he's paying attention. You can see him right there. I told him I'm going to duck out of the way pretty quick, so reactions have to be fast. But nice performance last night in Vancouver for Tristan Jarry.
Janmark sees Bennington corral and leave it for Cam Fowler. But the Blues have spotted Edmonton a 4-goal lead. Holloway a shot. That was blocked by Emberson. Stayed in the lane. And as Louis talked about, the Blues are dead last in the league, averaging about 2.5 goals per game.
And those little subtle blocks like that was Emberson that got in the way of Holloway and just didn't allow, which potentially, that's almost top of the circle, and Holloway could really shoot it. Had a breakout year last year, but that just takes that chance away.
Not charging.
In that lane like you talked about.
What a move by Savoy right around Neighbors. Mangiapane tracked down and dumped to the ice by Snuggerud, but then Lazar burrowed his way in and kept the play alive in the corner for the Oilers. Pursued up the boards, not out. Snuggerud tried to go inside of Mangiapane, was closed off quickly. Neighbors thrust it down low to Shanna. Blast by Parayko and a save made by Ingram. Another stop from distance, and then he's able to cover the rebound as Snuggerud was in tight, trying to find a crevice in Connor Ingram's armor.
Couple big blasts, and here's the block I was talking about for Holloway. Looks left like he's going to try and thread it through and tries to use Emberson as the screen. Here's the blast by Parayko. Again, he can really pound the pill. That one reflects right out, and then it's Broberg that has a pretty good shot too. Low, hard shot through the traffic as he walks into this one with Snuggerud at the doorstep. And look at Ingram just making a wall and not letting anything go through and get some help from his defenders to block out some Blues in front.
And getting squared up for each of those opportunities. McDavid wins the faceoff. Wallman to Stastny. And then wedged out by Podkolzin. Tracked by Cam Fowler. Longtime Anaheim Duck. Was a key man in the Blues stretch drive last year. St. Louis came from way back to claim the last spot in the Western Conference playoff race. And just seconds away from an upset of President's Trophy winner, rather, the Winnipeg Jets, before losing in 7. Here's Falk, nearly a giveaway that Hyman could have cashed in for a potential hat trick. Hyman already with 2 in this game. As Louis talked about, he's just been rolling. One shy from another 20-goal campaign with the Edmonton Oilers. Hyman breaks loose of Sundqvist. Got it back from McDavid. Couldn't get it away. Brought back by Nathan Walker. Toropchenko following up. Forechecking Emberson as we come up on 5 minutes remaining second period. Roslovic to McDavid. Roslovic couldn't get through Sundqvist, so McDavid will keep it in his possession before rolling it over to Emberson. Snapped around the boards, Roslovic. Nurse. Shot blocked by Parayko. Walker and Sundqvist clears for the Blues. Behind Stenberg, corralled once more by Emberson and dumped back in. Binnington to Stenberg. Couple of hacks at it. Managed to clear back to the red, where it's fired immediately back in by Nurse. The Oilers are just frustrating the Blues' efforts at coming through neutral with any kind of speed.
Getting pounded right back into the zone. That gets tiring going back and forth.
Roslovic tried to go in front. Binnington broke that one up, and then Howard put it upstairs and off the glass. Isaac Howard. Ekholm. Howard flutters one toward
Not charging.
Taken by Bukestad on his backhand. Puts it high in the air, settled by Bouchard as we go inside 4 minutes to play in period 2. One touch, Nugent Hopkins to Janmark. Back inside, a little behind Nugent Hopkins. Kept in by Ekholm, over to Janmark. Holloway crowds. Freed up for Bouchard. Now Janmark back on the puck. Heading for the net center. Shot, Howard denied. Jordan Binnington. Good shift for Isaac Howard. Couple of looks. Jordan Binnington equal to the task, but Edmonton still up 4. Tonight's major part of the game brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Parts that make the difference. That's Napa know-how.
Well, it's the 2 goals by Zach Hyman. This is a great shift by this line to just keep the pressure on. The blast by Ekholm redirected perfectly for Zach Hyman. Then the transitional play. This one was right on the line offside. No challenge by the St. Louis Blues. Ekholm to McDavid to Hyman for the one-timer as he flares out and rips that one by Binnington, his 37th career multiple-goal game. And you know he'll be sniffing for that next one. He has been hot as of late. He's got 17 goals in his last 20 games.
6 hat tricks. Louis got 6 this week. 3 on the dad's trip and 3 more on this weekend. Nugent Hopkins against Justin Falk. Dropped it off for Spencer Stastny. Lost the handle. And here comes Otto Stenberg. He's got Buchnevich with him. Buchnevich gives it up. Shot Bukestad. Another solid save by Ingram. Pushing a foot and a half above the blue paint to make his 16th stop of the evening.
Yeah, he's just, reading the play so well, and he's taking the shooter, which goaltenders should do. Focus on the shooter. A little turnover here by Stastny, but look at him pumping the legs to come back. And that's what evens it out, but then it's Bukestad coming late from a pretty wide angle. And for Ingram, he reads, and once this goes wide, look at him come right out, and yeah, you're not going to put that through a goaltender and somehow hold on to it after.
Face-off win for Dvorsky. Broberg tried to thread it through. It was lying there for a moment with Ingram stretched out, but Colson figures he was the one who spotted the puck. Grabbed it, takes a pass from McDavid, and tries to get around Philip Broberg. Emerson to Darnell Nurse inside 3 minutes to play.
Not charging.
Second period, the Oilers with 3 in the first and 1 more here in the second. Emerson kicked it back for McDavid. Get worked over by Dvorsky. McDavid picked up his league-leading 84th point of the season On Hyman's second. Holloway will dump it in. Nurse hit hard by Kyrou. Kyrou wrestled possession away for St. Louis, and now Jake Neighbors. Parayko from distance, and a save Ingram.
Everybody loves a comeback story, and this one is written in the stars. Jasper, happy happens here.
Good job here after this. Puck goes off a skate for Ingram. He's got to try and scramble once in position to get back. Puck Cole's in the forward. Good defensive play to come right swooping in and get that out of harm's way.
Curtis Lazar making sure he knows where Bouchard is positioned. And he and Shen will engage once more.
Good battle between Nurse and Shen in that last sequence too. Jack, for Nurse blocking out Shen in front, just allowing Ingram to face the shooter once again on that point shot.
Janmark entrusted with a face-off. Shen won it. Last coming Parayko, and a save made by Connor Ingram. This goes to show you, been one of those years for the Blues. Colton Parayko scored 16 goals last year. He's got none this year.
Not from the lack of trying, man. He has been ripping it going.
Turned over by Bouchard on a pass into his skates, so Snuggerud on to Jake Neighbors. Neighbors, of course, a tremendous career here in Edmonton as an Oil King, and I think he might have drawn a trip. So late in this second period, the Blues will be awarded their 4th power play of the night.
It is here on the entry. And again, it's a good stick by Bouchard, but then he gets it kind of in position. He's sweeping through. His argument was that he swept right through the puck, but he went through the heels of Neighbor first. Just kind of one of those plays where you make a good play and that puck just goes to a spot and reaction puts a stick there. And for Neighbors, just turns his body, tries to protect him. Big triple.
This feels like
get the puck.
Could be St. Louis's last gasp here. I think they've got to bang one in here to have any shot in the third. One-timer ripped by Holloway and a kick save made by Ingram. And then Ekholm did not get it out. Nugent Hopkins and McDavid with pressure up top on Holloway, who was off balance. Nugent Hopkins pried it loose. McDavid to Nurse. Little give and go. Braden Shen from behind, able to force McDavid off the puck. And then when Nurse centered, it was deflected. Ekholm shot tipped by McDavid. And Binnington elects to keep the play moving.
Heads up play by Ekholm too. Put that right into McDavid coming from the corner.
Almost got the tip. Snuggerud sent it in deep. Neighbors around the boards.
Not charging.
That would have had you and I trying to go into total recall for McDavid's last tip. His most memorable one was in the conference final against Dallas, remember, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Heck of a deflection on a drive from distance by Bouchard. Buchnevich gives it up. Shoveled down low by Stenberg. Kyrou. Dvorsky. With Emerson trying to lodge that puck against the boards. It's finally carved free for Janmark. He's got Savoy with him. Nearly coughed it up, but was able to regain and slide it deep into the St. Louis zone. Quick up by Falk. He knows time is running. 20 seconds to go in the period. Stenberg to Buchnevich, not in shooting position. Justin Falk with 15 seconds. Here's Buchnevich, loads, waits, fires! And Nurse, I think, got the stick on that and sent it tumbling out of play.
Quick little check. That one shattered it, actually. He thought maybe it was just enough not to break it, but here's the blast right off the face-off by Dylan Holloway. He gets all of that one. Good right pad save, and then Buchnevich, he was frustrated after this because he was poised in the slot. He waited out Darnell Nurse, but then Nurse just spun with the stick, gets a piece of it up over top of the glass. He's got a new twig to finish off. 9 seconds on the clock.
One last face-off for the Blues. There'll be a 19-second carryover into the third period on a power play. But if you're the Blues, you'd love to have some momentum going into the dressing room. Instead, down 4 as Lazaro win the face-off, and Nurse likely to kill the clock here in the corner. With some help from Ekholm, it squirts out front, and Falk denied at the horn!
Probably could have just ate that one at the end instead of trying to make a play. But Ingram with a nice save right at the end of the period.
And by probably, you mean definitely.
And you know, sometimes you just want to make the play. It's routine, but here, you've got this on the wall. Eat it. Eat it, run down the clock, and that little backhand gets away, and Falk pounces on it. A couple good saves again by Ingram at the end.
He's been very solid, obviously, with a clean sheet through 2. Connor Ingram keeping St. Louis at bay, and meanwhile, Zach Hyman, another pair of goals, and on the night, you celebrate Nugent Hopkins' 1,000th game. He opens the scoring. Hyman, deferential as always, accepting the congratulations. Martine and Katrina straight ahead with a Hockey Central update on Sportsnet.
All right, welcome back, and there are the Edmonton Oilers. Matthias Janmark proudly showing off the shirt, long sleeve, in honor of all the work that he's done in getting to 1,000 games. And then what a surprise, maybe not so much of a surprise, as the whole team, in honor of his love for horses, getting a chance to jockey their positions in the dressing room. Prior to the game was the lineup read from some of Ryan Nugent Hopkins' best friends, joined by Tori, Brandon, Ryan, and Steve, or Steven. Okay, Brandon, let's start with you. What was it like to read the lineup? And you were right beside your good buddy, Ryan.
Yeah, it's just special to see him go through 1,000 games with one organization, and the loyalty he has to this city, and it's a day to celebrate him. So just to be part of it is pretty special for us growing up with him, and just super proud of him and super happy for him to get to celebrate his moment today.
What was it like for you guys to be invited and want to be here to be a part of this great opportunity?
Yeah, no, we're just so blessed and happy to be here for him. It's been a wild journey, and it's just amazing to see him reach this milestone. We couldn't be happier for him, honestly.
And Brandon, what kind of a kid was Ryan Nugent Hopkins, or young man, when you first met him? What kind of a young man was Ryan Nugent Hopkins since you met him?
Very down-to-earth, easy guy to get along with, easy guy to play with. He was a good friend. Yeah.
Tori, what do you want to say about Ryan's golf game?
Oh, he's a class act on the golf course. He plays fast, and he's a good conversationalist. That's all that matters.
Okay, should we give him a Nuge? You ready? On 1, 2, 3. Nuge. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Gene. If I stare at those shirts long enough, am I going to see a spaceship? I mean, those are a lot of stuff going on with those shirts. And I'll tell you what, class act and yours truly will never be used in the same sense on the golf course. I take too many swings to be a class act. St. Louis Blues, final seconds on their power play, trailing 4-0 as we begin the third period. And those seconds drop off without a serious challenge to Connor Ingram, who's held sway for Edmonton through 40 minutes. An outlet to Darnell Nurse. He'll get it in deep for Connor McDavid. Jumped over his stick, back through the neutral zone. Bouchard on to McDavid. Tried to cut inside for Tyler Tucker, and now Zach Hyman. Well on his way to a 5th 20-goal season with the Oilers, and a one-timer bidding for the hat-trick stop. Rebound, shooting again, and blocked by Holloway. That would have been 6 hat-tricks, all as an Oiler. Driving in is Kyrou. Previous season high when he came to Edmonton for the 21-22 campaign was 21. Did that twice. Here's a beautiful feed. McDavid got it through to Podkolzin, who finishes 5-0. Podkolzin with goals in back-to-back games, and he's got 12 on the year.
Stay with it here for Connor McDavid. I mean, he's going full speed, little chip in charge to himself, goes down, spins, and in one motion is able to feed this through to Podkolzin, who wisely goes to the back door. You never really know when it's going to get to you, but you have to feel it is going to get to you. You play with 97. And a great effort down that wall to spin, find that pass a little bit off the skate of Tucker. But a great finish by Putt Colson in tight 5-0.
And it's one of those nights where that one goes off the skate right to the stick. Edmonton 5, St. Louis nothing. McDavid's second assist of the night. But Colson, who scored the 6th goal last night in Vancouver, scores the 5th tonight. Cross-ice feed for Shen. Tried to give it up for Neighbors. Oilers now have scored 11 straight goals for the first time since April of 2022. Beat Vancouver last night, arrived home around 2 a.m. and has shown up a big way to kick off this 8-game homestand as that's blistered up over top by Braden Shen. 2 minutes gone here in the third period. Oilers led 3-0 after one, and they've added single goals in each of the next 2 periods. This is going to be icing against Edmonton.
This period brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of no payments, no interest for 1 year.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, Jack, the longest home stand that they're going to have since 1982 with 9. So it's been a long, long time before, well, since they've had a home stand of this length of 8 games coming up here, and a great way to start it so far, up 5-0 in this one. But it was their first long homestand of 5 games where they went 3-1-1 to kind of turn the season for them, I thought, earlier in the year. So it is a building they love to play in. They can play excellent hockey here, and they're going to try and do that going into the Olympic break.
Blast by Holloway. That deflected up on the plexi. Give Hyman a second assist on the Colson goal. So now he has 2 goals and an assist. Just laying on the Blues. I'm trying to think what I was listening to in 1982. Something tells me it had to be a little Christopher Cross action. Sailing. Ride like the wind.
Hey, it's hard to beat 80s music.
Wristed down deep by Tyler Tucker. Well, it would get better, but I think in 82 it was Christopher Cross for me. Here's Bouchard driving in, shooting, and a glove save made by the beleaguered Jordan Binnington, who's about to go 2-8-1 since the calendar flipped in December.
Yeah, and he stones Bouchard here, who's testing the glove with this quick wrister, short side, looking to try and go up over top, and flashing the leather is Binnington. But it hasn't been kind to him in 2026, that's for sure.
Well, Team Canada, you never know. I mean, I don't know whether Binnington goes in as the number 1. Certainly his recent play would suggest not.
Well, this is his 6th game in the last 11 that he's given up 4 or more goals against. Not putting that all on Jordan Binnington, but it's been a tough grind.
Here's Hyman, tried to sneak one inside, got it back, kicked it out for Bouchard. McDavid trying to get around Philip Broberg. But it is telling over that same stretch that Joel Hofer has had a save percentage well north of 900. He's at 925 since December started, and that's why I brought up the fact that at some point, if St. Louis is going to stay in the wild card race, Jim Montgomery might be facing a tough decision. Ekholm, Bouchard, McDavid to the middle of the ice. Puck available in the hashes, and finally iced by Sundqvist with 4.5 gone by here in the third.
Mayhew just leveled on Colson, I believe, on that shift, or Hyman right in front, but games remaining, you can see points out of the playoffs for the St. Louis Blues, and I agree with you, Jack. I think it's time right now that you're going to start to see Jim Montgomery and the coaching staff of the St. Louis Blues going to start going with a hot hand.
He's not coaching the Olympic team. He's coaching his team. And if St. Louis is going to make a run, this is going to be another failed bid at winning 3 in a row. The Blues, like the Oilers, have not won 3 games in a row all year long. They're the only 2 teams in the league that can say that. And St. Louis is in a position where they're going to have to win more than 3 in a row.
They've done it before. This is a team that seems to get better as the year goes on. And obviously 2019 was the biggest year for that, winning the Stanley Cup and starting in last place. You know, a position where nobody really gave them any chance, and they just continued to grind. That was Jordan Binnington's first real taste of consistent NHL hockey, and he went on a tear. So he does have an ability.
Boston fall, gains the line. Fifth loss, but having a chance for a 3-game winning streak, and an offside coming the other way, whistled against the Oilers.
Savoy tried to stick handle through his own teammate Emberson there. Gained the onside and not go offside, but Emberson just tried to not move too quickly over the line, activating up the rush. Made a beautiful pass last night from the defensive zone. In my opinion, just right onto the tape, and I think that was a real sign that he's starting to play with some real confidence. Gave it to Ryan Nugent Hopkins in the middle of the ice, and capping him was the eventual goal scorer, walking in and burying it. But good heads-up play by Emberson, who's starting to activate from time to time, and you like to see that from the defense, knowing when to get up in the rush.
Meanwhile, the Edmonton Oilers on Tuesday against New Jersey, a team that'll be on the second of a back-to-back, will have their 9th opportunity to achieve that long sought-after 3-game winning streak. Shot by Tucker, speared by Connor Ingram, who's quietly having a night. I mean, his team has put 5 up for him, but he's also been stellar when tested.
I agree, and you know, some of the chances aren't easy. This one isn't. There's traffic in front. Nice little stop by Shen, finds Tucker coming in late, and he zips this one through. Bodies in front. You can see Snuggerud was literally right in front of Connor Ingram, but somehow he finds this one with the glove, and that's when you know you're feeling it. Follows it all the way in there, going across the grain. I think he could put that more through a screen than Tucker did. Good shot, better save.
Jordan Kyrou bumped off his stick by Roslovic. Savoy ahead. Howard, a backhander, and he pushed it wide. That's some backside pressure from Falk. Howard, Savoy, interior pass to Roslovic, and now Bouchard directs for Ekholm. Savoy, Bouchard's stick exploded. The Blues, for a moment, looked like they might have a 4-on-1.5, but it didn't pan out. Great play by Ekholm.
Yeah, Ekholm just got his feet moving quickly and then just out-muscled Dvorak, who I don't think he realized the chance that was there. He's not happy coming back to the St. Louis bench.
Hyman. Well, that's what we've seen for most of the night. Edmonton's just been quicker on pucks, quicker on reads. Stastny. Jake Wallman, short side delivery for Hyman. A 3-point night for him. Stastny, but Colson, 10th multi-point game of his career. Remember, he had an assist on the second period goal, the first of 2 for Hyman tonight. Here's a chance in front, walking right out was Stenberg, but threw it up over top. Bukestad hard to that short side. A save. Ingram. A rebound. Loose in the blue paint. Blues still have an opportunity. Torchenko curled it back for Broberg. Fired. And a tip by Bukestad was booted away by Wallman. Edmonton defending the front of its net well here.
Yeah, heavy battle between Walker and Stastny in front, too. And Walker, we know from talking to him over the years, he's a fire hydrant. Some of the biggest legs in the National Hockey League. He's not easy to move.
It's an awkward sequence here as one of the Blues tripped and plowed right into McDavid. I think it was Sundqvist. Yeah. And he might have gotten the worst for wear. McDavid.
He's grabbing his heel. He's cut, I think, here, Jack. Something's going on here.
Yeah.
The trainers are going to get on the ice pretty quick. There's not a good reaction here. Parayko waved right to the bench.
Sundqvist went under McDavid. And I wonder whether he got clipped.
It looked like he got cut. They're going to want to get him off the ice as soon as possible. I don't know what they're going here, right here. Yeah, right here. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man, he's cut. I've been cut there. It's not good. Yeah. Yeah.
Lost his balance. You see McDavid land on him. And we send our best to Oscar Sundqvist.
Be comfortable thinking outside the hand.
Well, scary moment here as Sundqvist closes off, falls down, and as him and Connor McDavid kind of get tangled up. I don't know exactly how it happens. You're going to see somewhere along there he gets cut, and he came right by me and went right down the tunnel. So good reaction by everyone involved to get him off the ice as soon as possible. We'll try and keep you updated on what's happened with him.
Oscar Sundqvist, of course, the Stanley Cup champion, 2019, his best year. 14 goals and 31 points during the regular season. Key guy on that cup run. Only hope that that's shorter term. As Louis said, scary when skates are involved. Parayko, Dvorsky, his shot was blocked. Bit of a hush over the crowd as well here at Rogers Place. Drive by Parayko high and wide on Connor Ingram, and an outlet tipped off the stick of Dvorsky. I mentioned that Jersey game on Tuesday, Louis. That's actually the first of 4 in a row that the Oilers will play against a team that'll be in Calgary the night before.
Yes.
So a friendlier January schedule to be sure than the Oilers, who again played more road games than anyone other than Vancouver. Not only are you at home, but you're getting teams on short rest over the next 4.
And you want to take advantage of it.
Shen up top for Justin Falk. But as we've seen tonight, often that team on the second of a back-to-back has their legs going, especially early. Yanmark.
I think with that game last night, though, too, Jack, if you look at the ice times, Chris Knoblauch maybe the most managed all year long, where he was able to use everybody. So nobody really taxed in that game, winning 6-0.
The 6 goals in the second period, the game decided. A save on Snuggerud by Connor Ingram, keeping the score at 5-0 Edmonton.
Play Alberta's biggest offer ever is here. Sign up today to find out if you're Alberta's next winner.
The Oilers No Kids Left Alone 50-50, presented by Rogers, now live in support of Little Warriors. The current jackpot, well, it is almost at $650,000 and climbing fast. Get your tickets now at edmonton.com/50-50 for more chances to win.
Bjugstad and Roslovic dueling off the draw. Wallman locates Spencer Stastny. Turned up for Roslovic. Cuts inside. Wrist shot save made Binnington, making himself as large as possible. Meanwhile, the Blues embarking on a road trip. They'll be in Winnipeg in a couple days. And those are 2 teams grasping at straws right now. They need to put together streaks, both of those clubs. Roslovic stolen from behind on Yanmark, but Wallman's there to take a slash by a save. Binnington, a second save on Jake Wallman by Jordan Binnington as Edmonton continues to pound away. Both of those shots approaching 90. Bouchard to Ekholm, his try, save Binnington, rebound Broberg. Bouchard tried to get inside Stenberg. Wristed high and wide by Podkolzin. Ekholm drops it down low for Yanmark. And now a chance for Mailloux to get it cleared, which he does to Bjugstad, but too much on it. That's icing against the Blues. They don't get a change. And they're tired. They've been out there all for at least a minute 10.
Good shift by this line. I mean, it was Roslovic with some excellent entries and then a couple blasts for Wallman. He tees one up and says, okay, I'm going to blast it again, fend it off a couple times. But it's puck retrievals coming up with those battles, and here Roslovic just can't get a touch on this rebound as Broberg does a nice job to get that body in position, but some tired St. Louis Blues on the ice now with the top line of Edmonton on the ice.
McDavid, the face-off against Bukestad, was acquired by the Oilers at the 2023 trading deadline. That Edmonton club lost in 6 to the eventual Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights. Of course, the Oilers have lost the eventual champs the last 4 years. Hyman walks in, and his shot eyes just missed. Already, Hyman with a shot that went posted in tonight. But Colson looking to keep it alive. In the absence of Leon Draisaitl, but Colson jumping up to play on this top line with McDavid and Hyman. And he certainly hasn't hurt them. Hyman and Colson scored last night of the win over Vancouver. And they've combined for 3 goals tonight. Hyman hit by Toropchenko. Sent in deep. Waiting for it. Spoon to the corner by Ingram. Toropchenko. Last 5 starts, Louis, Connor Ingram looks like he's in a director's chair. I mean, he is poised as can be. Puck handling the whole 9 yards. Squared shooters. He hasn't had to flop around. He's probably played better than we're giving him credit for because he seems to be in position all the time, making the saves look routine.
Yeah, really focused on the shooter, and that's important for any goaltender, but I think it really allows defense, too, just to say, hey, do a job, let him see it. And since he's come in and played games for Edmonton, he seems to be getting calmer and calmer every game he plays. But he's made some sound saves, and give the Blues credit. They're a team that grinds, looks to have traffic in front of you. They make it difficult. He's had to make some of those through the screens. But when called upon, he's been making those saves. And for Jim Montgomery and their team, still struggling to find pucks into the back of the net this season. Some key players out of the lineup, as we mentioned. Robert Thomas, the key setup man for me. He sets an excellent passer. He's usually the guy that's feeding guys in great positions to put the puck in the net.
Off the draw, Kyrou turned it wide. Shot by Braden Shen. The Blues did get Dylan Holloway back tonight after a 5-week absence. Tyler Tucker off balance. Shot blocked by Frederick. Rebound, fought for. Swung back down low. Ekholm dancing away from Kyrou. Nugent Hopkins popped it up for Andrew Monteponti for Edmonton. An 8-game homestand. I'd mentioned they'd actually lost 4 of their last 5 on home ice. And as playoffs approach, you want to reestablish that home ice as an intimidating place to play because we all know the volume. Hacked wide, recent playoff runs. Not sure that much has been lost in terms of volume up from Rexall to Rogers Place. Definite. 5-player pile-up. Finally chiseled free by Bukestad. Savoy didn't get it out. Bukestad given second life. Finds Mayu. Backhanded in front off a Howard skate. Tossed safely out by Stasny. New Jersey, like St. Louis, finds itself on the outside looking in over the Eastern Conference. Buchnevich a shot off the rush, stopped by Ingram. His 26th stop of the night. Now Justin Falk. Cam Fowler. Turned by Toropchenko back to Buchnevich. His wrist shot sails wide, hops off the end boards. Taken by Janmark, didn't get it out though. Toropchenko powering his way into possession as Emerson tries to disrupt. Cam Fowler. Emerson will chase that down and St. Louis to change.
A couple workman-like shifts by St. Louis here in succession, hemming Edmonton in the defensive zone, but Edmonton doing a terrific job of, for the most part, just keeping it to the outside, not really allowing that clean look and just mucking in the corner, closing things down.
Vasily Podkolzin in from the right-hand side. Taken away by Jake Neighbors. Borrego pops it over, fed inside. Neighbors a shot, and Frederick with an active stick deflected that one out of play with 4.5 to go in the third. Edmonton led 4-0 after 2. That man, Vasily Podkolzin, made it 5-0. Tonight's hit of the game brought to you by James H. Brown Accident Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters in injury law.
Well, a big hit right off the start here and set the tone as Trent Frederick, a little elbow off the fence. A slash by Mayhew afterwards, but early on set the tone with a pretty good hit right in front of me, diving out of the way.
And it followed it up with a little high elbow there, Louis. I'm not sure that wasn't in your arsenal as well.
Rubbing his racing.
Here's Wallman. You got a lot of positive feedback from that little expression the other night when you used it. I hadn't heard it before either, but very popular amongst the fan base. Justin Falk brushes one up to Jordan Kyrou. We've got 4 minutes left in this one. Big hit by Frederick as Neighbors jackknifed over the boards in front of his bench. I think this is a Ryan Nugent Hopkins related chant. Are they just going Nugent Hopkins? I haven't heard that one.
They're just Nugent Hopkins.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's usually just Nuge, and now it's dissolved into that. And that just is often cascades around the building. Again, McDavid and Draisaitl are revered in Edmonton. But I'm not sure anyone is more popular or more loved than Ryan Nugent Hopkins. And again, you played with one of those guys, Ryan Smith.
Yeah.
May not have been the best player on the Oilers. Often that was a Doug Weight type of situation, but Ryan Smith certainly found a place in the hearts of Edmontonians, as Nugent Hopkins has. His Hyman shot deflects out of play with 3:01 to go. Trent Frederick heard he was a candidate for hit of the game, so he thought he'd make sure. Tonight's Rogers Play of the Game brought to you by Rogers. This is our game.
Well, it's no question. It's Ryan Nugent Hopkins to get things started in this hockey game. The 1-0 goal. Nice play by Wallman on the wall to get it down to Bouchard. He finds Nugent Hopkins and he tests the blocker. Loves to shoot short side high. So good at that release. In game number 1,000, scores the first goal. This place erupted, and Edmonton hasn't looked back.
10th player to score in his NHL debut and his 1,000th NHL game, Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Last two guys to do that, Lars Eller and Gino Malkin, briefly teammates in Pittsburgh. Offside whistled against the St. Louis Blues, who trail 5-0.
Century Casino. All in, all games, all season. Century Casino. Great locations in Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile Racetrack. Welcome to the Winner's Zone.
Roslovic and Bugstad out there for a neutral zone draw. Roslovic tripped up. Quickly swept up Toropchenko, and now Tyler Tucker with a shot that's canceled out by Emerson. Isaac Howard on the ricochet takes a pop from Tucker as he advances through to Savoy. Borrego around the boards. What a weekend for the Edmonton Oilers, coming off back-to-back losses. Vegas surging to the top of the Pacific Division. Oh, Edmonton quickly answering the bell. 6-0 and 5-0 wins. Maybe it's getting beat 1-0.
Yeah.
Remember, Louis, remember the last time they got beat 1-0 by Wallstead in Minnesota? They had 15 goals in the next two games. This time they're going to get 11, and more importantly, giving up none to this point.
Probably should have gotten a couple on Sorokin that night, but he was outstanding. You have to tip your cap sometimes to a goaltender that puts up a performance like that in a 1-0 effort on Thursday. But you're right, they've exploded the last couple of games, and it's been by committee. Everybody getting involved, it seems.
Chipped ahead, quick chance. Bennington out to challenge. Curtis Lazar cleared by the Blues back towards center. Lazar to the middle looking for Janmark, poked away by Broberg. Snuggerud up to Braden Shen. Spins and hits Neighbors, but well defended by Matthias Ekholm, who sends it up toward Mangiapane. 1 minute to play. 5-0 Edmonton. 3 in the first, 1 in each of the next 2 periods. A blast, Broberg, and another save, number 27 for Connor Ingram.
Yeah, pretty solid save on Broberg, who activates here as a defense and let that one rip from the sharp angle. But when you look at the body of work in this one tonight for Ingram, I just think you'd say poise. He gets himself in position. He's made the saves that he's been faced with. That was a little knuckle puck change up from the slot from Toropchenko that he had to kind of fight off. But other than that, that's a great run through traffic as well. We talked about that wrister from Tucker. He's seeing it. Look at the position. Once he's in position, there's not a whole lot of movement. He's swallowing up pucks.
Toropchenko off the draw, tried to feather one inside to Bukestad, taken away by Nugent Hopkins, looking to set Hyman up for a potential bid at the hat trick. Hyman out there with McDavid and Nugent Hopkins, and that's the purpose here, to see if they can maybe get either Hyman a hat trick or Nugent Hopkins a coup de grace sort of goal. Toropchenko inside. Shot sent wide by Stenberg. Nothing like getting win on a milestone night. Bukestad. His pass pinballed in front. Hyman drops it off for Emerson, and now he's going to melt some clock. Connor Ingram will record his 8th career shutout. 27 saves and a clean sheet on the night they celebrate Nugent Hopkins and 1,000. It's all Edmonton. 5-0 over St. Louis.
Win for the team on Ryan Nugent Hopkins' 1,000th game. He tried to come off late there, and they said, no, stay out. Ride it out. It's your night. And the Edmonton Oilers come out scoring on his big night, win this one 5-0.
Ingram's last shutout came in March of 2024. He was a member of a team that has since moved from that city. Now he's in Edmonton. And applause rains down on Ingram, Nugent Hopkins, and the Oilers in the aftermath of a decisive 5-0 win.
Yeah, one last skate for Nugent Hopkins. They made him do it.
Rogers Oilers Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by the Rogers 5G Plus Network. Plus it up with 5G Plus plans that give you more on Canada's most reliable 5G Plus network. And by Molson. We've been everywhere because we're for everyone. Molson. Everyone in.
Well, this was the most rigged
Tune in now for live post-game coverage as the Oilers shut out the Blues 5-0.
3 stars.
Yeah, a lot to choose from this one. Connor Ingram, his 8th career shutout. Really, really good when he needed to be. He made the saves that were necessary and a great performance by him. Zach Hyman, another strong game. I mean, the work ethic, the drive, hard on pucks, a couple goals and assists, 3 points. Just another strong outing for him. On pace again right now to have exactly 50 goals in a full season. So that's the season he's having in 31 games, 19 goals. And Ryan Nugent Hopkins, the man of the hour, 1,000th game. He scores a goal to start things off, and his team never looked back.
And the week ahead, again, the Edmonton Oilers will get a couple teams on the second of a back-to-back starting Tuesday when the New Jersey Devils come calling 10 Eastern, 8 Mountain. Louie and I will have it for you on Sportsnet West. Scotiabank Wednesday night hockey featuring Detroit and Toronto. The Maple Leafs are very much in the hunt. 6:30 Eastern, 4:30 Mountain on Sportsnet. And then Louie and I back at you as the Edmonton Oilers look to sweep the season series from the Pittsburgh Penguins, who are in a playoff spot right now. That's Sportsnet West. 9 Eastern, 7 Mountain. Ryan Nugent Hopkins. On the night he plays his 1,000th game, he scores the only goal that Connor Ingram and the Oilers would need. The opening goal of a 5-0 shutout, a 6-goal week for Zach Hyman, and an 11-0 weekend for the Edmonton Oilers, now just 2 points out of the Pacific Division lead. Straight ahead, we've got Sportsnet Central with Martine and Katrina, presented by KFC. For Gene Principe and Louis DeBrusk, I'm Jack Michaels. Ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure was all